Yeah, so how to market accounting services. So this is a topic that caused me a lot of grief, right? I run a 6-figure accounting and bookkeeping business that started back in 2015, and one of my main weaknesses was getting clients. Now, I don't know about you, depending on the person watching this, you might have 0 years of accounting experience, you might have 20 years of accounting experience, you might have 40 years of accounting experience by the time you're starting your business. And for me, I had a really crippling kind of concern of I was more on the younger side of the spectrum, right? And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I was seeing all these people at networking events, and there was a guy, he was probably 60 years old, been doing his accounting business for 25 years. I'm how am I supposed to compete with this guy? If we're in the same room, this guy's gonna get more clients than me. It's there's no way I can kind of compete with that. So what I ended up having to do was having to learn how to utilize the power of other people's reputation as well as the internet to go and get a solid stream of clients. And that's what I'm going to try to talk to you about today. So first things first, growing and marketing and accounting business is 10% about what you know. Technically it's about 10% what you know, 90% who you know. Okay, let's just be completely honest about that. A lot of people, they put a lot of emphasis on the skills that they have. Now, depending on the service that you offer, I'm not saying that being able to do the service is not important, right? Don't get me wrong. If you can't do the service and you completely mess something up, or you get someone audited, or you do the tax plan completely wrong, I'm not saying that there's not a place for it. But in terms of you getting clients, that is not actually the main focus, because it's more about who you know. So let me think about it like this. So when it comes to, let's say, testimonials, a testimonial is not necessarily about a reflection on what you know, it's a reflection on the client who got the result. That's a who you got the result for. Let's say it's going to be your marketing online for social media. The number of followers and subscribers you have that are relevant business owners, that's a who you know, right? They don't necessarily know how much you know before they follow you. So it's all about these tangible numbers and relationships we can build that are going to cause us to be able to go get the clients. So one thing I like for you to think about when it comes to marketing is called a conversion sphere or conversion circle. So most people, what happens is they maybe have a circle that's this big, okay? It's going to be friends, parents, family, extended family, old coworkers, right? But for here, let's say you have 10 people like that, right? Let's say you have 10 people inside this sphere, this circle. Maybe it's a family friend or an old colleague that started their own business, or maybe someone you went to college with that started a business. You have 10 people who own a business. It is very hard to go 10 for 10, especially if the business is already established, right? Because let's say a business has been around for 3, 4, 5 years. They probably have a CPA they're working with. They may or may not have a tax strategist they're working with. They might maybe even have a bookkeeper they're working with. So for you to think that, okay, I have 10 friends, I'm going to bank on these 10 people working with me, that's very, very hard to do, and it's not really fair to your friends and family. So what you do is, first things first, you go to those people to see if there are any openings. Out of 10, you might get 1 or 2, right? If you're really blessed, you might get 5 or 6. Now, for some people, 5 or 6 clients, depending on how you price it out, could be a really good amount of money. So for our students in our mentorship program, we teach you guys how to charge from about $500 to $5,000 per month for your monthly services. And then we teach you to charge from about $3,000 to about $10,000 for your tax planning services. So we teach you how to make a really good mix of where your revenue is coming from. But let's just say, for the sake of example, you're gonna get monthly work. We get 6 clients at, we'll say, $3,000 a month. That's already $18,000 a month right there. So it's you could potentially get there, but a lot of people, if you've been in business for any more than probably 3 months and you still haven't gotten your friends and family to sign up with you, it's probably not going to happen in a very reasonable time frame to allow you to be able to leave your job. Now, I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you're trying to go full time with your business. Now, you don't necessarily have to, but I'm just assuming if you're watching this video, you want to go full time. So number one, right, when we're talking about expanding the circle, we have to start going after strangers. So one way you can do is with networking events. Now, I don't personally like networking events that much because it's very location dependent, or it's very time dependent, right? So location, because if you're in a bad location, a very rural area where there's not a lot of businesses, or you're in a town where there's a lot of small businesses, let's say under about $400,000 per year, mom and pop shops, it's very hard. So for example, when I was starting out, I got so desperate to get clients, I went door to door. So there's a city near me. I live in Michigan, so there's a city near me. It's called Saline, and I basically was driving and I saw this Main Street area. So I literally tried to walk in every single business on that main street, I got 0 clients. People like saying, oh, I already have a CPA, or oh, I'm not really trying to use, bookkeeping for my business. I'm just, we're comfortable exactly how our business is. We've been doing this for like 20 years like this. We're good. It's just so hard to get those kind of clients. So if you're in the networking events and that is your area, the people at the networking events are generally going to be a very similar breed, right? So you're kind of out of luck there. Next thing is the time aspect. So a lot of these networking events are like during the day. So like if you're working a job right now, it's like you can't just call off at 10:30 and just be like, hey, I gotta disappear for an hour, right? Some people can, but I know a lot of people watching this probably can't. And not on top of that, like, so the event might be an hour long, but it might be 20 minutes away, 15 minutes away, 30 minutes away. So you just can't take out that much time during your day. So it's very inconvenient for a lot of us, at least for me when I was starting my business, right? Because I was working my job. So you could go to the networking events if you're like maybe doing this full time already, and maybe if you just have like a really, really flexible schedule, you can just find the right event, okay? I'm not saying it doesn't work, it's just for most people, it doesn't really work. If you need more flexibility, then learning how to utilize social media and online is gonna be a much better option. So when it comes to online, there's really 2 main paths we can go. We can go a free path, we call it organic marketing, or we can go the paid path. That's like more using advertisements. There's not necessarily one that like, which one works, which one doesn't. They both work. It's just different criteria is going to be put inside. So when we talk about the free organic methods, you're either going to be using in the beginning your time or your creativity. So when I say time, it's like, let's say you're on like LinkedIn. Now a lot of people are gonna be like doing a lot of posting. You're probably not gonna get very many clients posting. If you're doing maybe tax prep only, okay, you can post and get some clients. But if you're trying to get like really good business owners to see what you do, you're gonna have to do more of a relationship style of what we call spearing. That's sending the connection request, having a very organized messenger sequence that gets people interested in actually responding to you, telling their pains, their problems, their concerns, what's going right in their business, what's going wrong in their business, and then invite them to a simple call where and if you need help like building out your script on your consultation call, we can show you exactly what to do. We just give you one if you're in our mentorship program. If you need help building your messenger script, I believe we have a video on this channel on how to build your own, but if you just want a very simple one that we can just give and like this already proven, we give that to you inside of our mentorship program also. But the organic one in the beginning is going to take a little bit of your time. Now, it doesn't have to take a lot of your time. Don't get me wrong. It's not like this thing where you're sitting there for like 24 hours a day, right? Your goal should be to send out a certain number of connection requests per day. That can take you 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes max, right? So it doesn't take a lot. But the trick inside of this is being able to understand and see who is a business owner that, number 1, could do your service, number 2, has the budget to pay you, number 3, doesn't already have a CPA or a bookkeeper in place, and number 4, someone who is open to working with someone remote, right? If you can spot those characteristics and those traits, it makes it very easy for you to start getting the right people to get in front of you and then actually like work with you. So that's the hard part with the social media, why I say it takes a lot of time. Once you do get this like understanding down, there are what's called automation machines. So these automation machines can be anywhere between like $15 a month to like, I think the most expensive one that I've seen is probably about like $100 a month that you can use. And like there's like little subscription tools. I can go through LinkedIn or even Facebook and find the ideal clients for you, start the conversation. Then all you have to do is open your phone like 1 to 3 times a day to kind of like reply to conversation to just make sure that like nothing is like falling through the cracks, right? So that's one thing that I really like doing and I really enjoy. Now, this is a really strong way to grow your business though. Don't get me wrong. Like, a lot of people think like just because something's free or just because something is not super sexy, it doesn't work, right? A lot of people want to do like these like crazy online things where it's like, you have an ebook that you run like to a website page, they call it a landing page, then you have like this funnel, then you have a bunch of ads, and then just all this complicated stuff, and it's just not needed. Think about it. In our business, every business in America needs some form of accounting service, whether you're going to do like your taxes, whether you're going to do some tax planning, whether you're going to do an audit, whether you're going to do, let's say you're going to do CFO services, bookkeeping, monthly accounting services, representation. Every business can utilize your service at some degree, right? So the point is, you just don't know enough people. So if you could build your group of people large enough and you just say the right things both in Messenger and on the call, you can build your business very, very consistently, right? It's just now you're gonna be thinking about speed and scalability, because there's gonna come a time to where you do the free methodologies, and since your business is so profitable, you can have all this extra cash sitting inside the bank account. Now, you could continue to use your time. Maybe you just clone some of your accounts. Maybe you just do some what's called duplication, right? And you could just, like, we call it horizontal scaling. Let's say that you have like your main profile. If you hire a staff account, you can use their profile. Then you hire a virtual assistant. Now you have 3 different profiles that are each going and getting like anywhere between like 1 to 5 clients a month. You can grow this thing relatively quickly. But if you want to grow a little bit differently, right, which is like more the ad route, which is a little bit more passive, right? When I say passive, it's not as passive because, like, once you have the automation on like the free side, it does become very passive. It's more like you can turn growing your business into a math equation when you're using paid ads. So, for example, whenever it comes to paid advertising, most beginner marketers, like just the basic standard of an online ad is you put $1 in, you get $3 out. If your ads are not getting at least that, then like the ads are just not going to be effective enough for you, right? Now, the cool thing about our business is that you can really choose what services you want to offer, right? So you could choose a service that has an inherent longer amount of time the person keeps paying you money. The longer someone's going to pay you money, we call it a lifetime value of a client. The larger the LTV, lifetime value, the more we can afford to spend on ads, because we know that we put $1 in, if we can break even on month 1. So let's say we spend $300 to get 1 client an ad. If this client pays us $300 on month 1, we're already breaking even. So it'll take us 3 months to hit that $1 in, $3 out ratio, but then we just keep going. So every single month we get $300 in. After 12 months, it's $1 in, $12 out. So that puts you in a really good class in terms of like the pedigree of like online marketers. You're doing really well at that stage. But here's the cool thing. Let's say that the client needed a compilation. Let's say it's like a 1-year compilation, right? So we put $1 in, day number 1, they pay us like 12 months. So they've already paid us $3,600. Plus $3,600 if they stay with you for a year. So it's already $7,200, right? So that's about a 24x return on ad spend, $300 to $7,200 out, right? So it's like you're automatically in the upper echelon of like most online marketers. And if you told some of these online like marketers that have like either a course online or that they sold like e-commerce stuff, that you put $1 in, you get $24 out every single time, they would strangle you, hold you up, and be like, hey, tell me your secrets or I'm going to keep strangling you till you can't breathe. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where it's a very kind of like there are people online where like their whole brand is like, I'm an expert advertiser. I put $1 in, I get $15 out. But you and I have a little secret, right? Our industry is just better. The products we're serving and like the service that we're selling it's just better because of the recurring revenue. They say on average, a monthly accounting client will stay with you for about 7.5 years on average. So we can just keep scaling and scaling and scaling and stacking that, dollar in or in dollar out. So it makes it simpler, but I know not every single person has like a budget. Now the thing with advertising is if you do it wrong, you can spend a whole bunch of money and make zero. I have it where I've spent one of my first campaigns, I spent $1,500, made zero. I've had, even when I was good at advertising, if you don't do things properly or correct, if you don't have like another pair of eyes looking at what you're putting out, very easy to go and spend $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 on an ad campaign and get zero results back, right? But when done correctly and you understand like stages, so it's like, okay, so we're gonna have this hypothesis of what this thing works well for your specific market, demographic, service you're offering, phrasing. Okay, so we're gonna do this test. So I want you to spend X amount of dollars, and then if you get this result, you're good to keep spending. If you don't get this result, you need to cut the spending and restart, go back to this hypothesis and restart. So it just saves you a lot of money. That way, you're not really out like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 on an ad campaign that may or may not work, right? It's about building that certainty. And that's why it's good to have like this free organic base first on social media and then start moving to paid ads, because you can use the same phrasing, words, target market demographic of who's already paid you on this free organic method, and then just do it in ads, and you just can grow it more consistently, and you can pay to go and get clients at a very consistent pace. And what that does, it allows you to be able to grow at the speed with what you want. So let's say that you wanted to go and get to $10,000 per month, right? I'm not saying that you'd want to get to $10,000 per month after 10 days. Some people do, but $10,000 worth of monthly clients. Let's say that your monthly clients are going to, let's say they're going to pay you $1,000, so you need 10 clients, okay? So that'll be, if you get $1,000 clients times 10, it's about $10,000 for the month. Okay, let's say that each one of your clients costs you $500 to get, so times 10, that means you need to spend $5,000 in your first month in order to get $10,000 a monthly client on the back end, okay? And that's just month number 1, remember. So in the first month, here's the thing with ads. The first month is going to be like the most unprofitable that your ads are, right? Because it'll be like a $1 in, maybe a $2 out return. So as the ads keep going and as you're like able to kind of keep stacking this up, this one it goes over time. So a lot of people get really discouraged because they spend some money, they don't see a return right away, or it's not quite what they expected, and they get really discouraged and they stop. Or they just say ads just don't work, which is just completely wrong. It's just we don't know in most cases how to do it correctly, right? But yeah, ads are a very powerful way to grow your business, and if you understand how to do it, then you can grow. Now, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you learned something new as far as like the different like thought process behind growing your business online. Now, if you want some help doing this, like any of the stuff we talked about today, maybe you've already tried to run some ads, but it's just not quite working, or maybe you've been on LinkedIn for like a year and just you're not getting any clients from it. If you want some help being able to grow your business in a very simplified way so you don't have to, go through all the hard stuff that most people do, click the link inside the description either above or below the video to book a call with myself to see if I can help you inside of our mentorship program, okay? I will talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your day. Take it easy. Have a good one.